Hello, Kaiju fans! The Cyber Kaiju event is back, it seems, and I gotta show you guys more models. So I had something a little more special planned, and I apologize to Steven especially because it seemed that he was looking forward to seeing my Cyber Bagosaurus figure that I was working on, and I was not able to get it done in time because high school's been very challenging with online learning. And I've been trying to gather all my stuff up to apply for colleges, and that includes portfolios for stuff I've made because I want to, be a digital sculptor for the rest of my life. But I don't have that figure here, and I was really excited to show you guys, But I was able to cobble some stuff together that I had printed, over the past month or so since school started. I haven't sculpted nearly as much. Sculpted that's me. But other than that, they're just some models I wanted to show you guys. And I was gonna do individual reviews for these, but I just thought, why not just show them in another showcase? It's like a sequel to the last one. So without further ado, let's get started. So before we get to the sort of main event that you just got a little teaser for, we're gonna start out with some original kaiju that I designed. The first one being this sculpture of my head. Nah, just kidding. The first one being a kaiju that I've mentioned before. His name is Tempest Rex. He is a humanoid kaiju, alien kaiju, and he can stop time. Because I love JoJo, and I wanted a time-stopping kaiju, and nothing was going to stop me. So I sculpted this a while back. He's got the Ultraman style articulation. Arms move, like so. The head moves, usually Ultraman vinyls, I don't think their heads move. I don't know. I don't have any of them. I just have a Balton. And his waist moves. Yay! Details are smooth. He's not very detailed. Most of them are like ridges and bumps and stuff. Hey, there we go. I still haven't fixed the focusing issue on my camera, so you're going to have to deal with that. He's got a cool visor, kind of like Gigan. And he's got a stone on his head, which is the emitter for the time-stopping power. And these large fins on his back are gravity ailerons, meant for directing his movement while in stopped time when there is no gravity. At least that's what I assume stop time would be like. Very muscular kind of build. Long tail with spikes. He kind of reminds me of Monster X a little bit. That kind of humanoid style of monster. But he's not the only version I have of this figure. Because I can rig them and pose them and then reprint them, I have a battle pose version, which I really like. It's one of my only figures that are in like a drastic pose that have articulation. So he's somewhat unique among my collection of custom figures. I love the mouth open. I love that. I don't know. I just love that detail of his. He looks like he's ready to take on anything that poses a threat. His legs are staggered, and his tail is support. So he's crouched down. They're the exact same size. The percentages are the same, but he's obviously shorter because he's crouched down. And he has the same amount of articulation. His waist moves. His arms move. And his head moves. And you can get some really expressive poses with this figure, and I want to do more like this with other monsters. The next original kaiju is a favorite among kind of my friend group. This is Fungalar. He is a mushroom man, as you can see. He's short and stubby, and he took a while to print because of how thick he is. So if the camera would like to focus on Mr. Fungalar's face. It's not going to focus. He's got a lot of mushroom. Oh, there it goes. Yay, it focused. He's got a lot of kind of mushroom ridgy details. I don't know. He's got the gills of a mushroom. I learned what those were called when I was sculpting him, and I looked up what were those things under a mushroom's cap, and they're gills. So that's a science fact for the day. He's got the kind of bumps that kind of a cartoony mushroom would have, and his fingers are these kind of tubes. So when he gets threatened or angry, he will spray out a deadly fungus from his fingers that will eat away other kaiju's flesh. The last original kaiju I have here, I think, yeah, last one, is one I printed recently. He looks different because he's in white, because I ran out of gray, and gray, for some reason, is completely out of stock everywhere and overpriced. So I went with white. This is my largest figure I think I've ever made. This is Locuda. From the previous video, there was a small miniature of him. That is... I apologize for that interruption. I had to reach over and grab it. So Locuda is massive for, you know, the figures I usually create. For size comparison, I have the NECA 62 Godzilla. Now he's not taller than him like that, but he's just a big figure. He took a long time to print. I think his legs, just the 4 legs took, I think, 20 hours. Here's his little miniature counterpart. He's got 7 points of articulation. His arms move. His waist moves. Very tight joint. And his head swivels. And each tail moves. So the tail on his back swivels. And the tails on his arms swivel. So he can get some pretty cool poses. Like he's gonna attack, you know, another kaiju and paralyze them with his madness venom. All right. So that does it for the original kaiju. Now we're gonna go. Next up are the Godzilla Monsters. All right. So for Godzilla Monsters, I sort of misspoke. They're just Godzillas. So for the last, I think 3 figures, I'll show these 2 first. The camera's lower because they're smaller. And you may be wondering, hey, director, why is the SH Monster Art Shin Godzilla in the background? Well, first off, I love it. It's a fantastic figure, and I don't care what any of you have to say. Second, when I got this a few years ago, I wanted to have the trio of the forms. And I did not like how the paint job looked on the 3rd form, and I didn't like the price. So I decided to opt out buying that set. But I did make the forms. So here is the 2nd form. He is in a fixed pose, kind of a walking or trudging stance, and his tail supports him, so the tip of his tail will touch the ground. He's got the gills, he's got the doofy face. I did not sculpt in the pupil, because I felt that if I ever got around to selling these things, and so far it's not looking like that's going to happen anytime soon, if someone wants to paint it, let's say you want to paint it a stylized color, and you want the eyes a single color, then why would I sculpt in a pupil and limit your creative genius? And I don't ever sculpt in pupils, so his eyes are blank. But if you were to paint him, you could give him his big fishy pupils. Yeah, Form 2, not much to say. He doesn't move, but he scales pretty well. That's where the issue comes in with the third form. Here's the third form. Pretty cool, I'd say. But he's too small. And I swear I did the math correctly. I put all the sizes into a scale calculator, the official movie sizes, and this guy came out too small. But he still looks cool, nonetheless. So he's got the very open mouth when he roars at the helicopters in the movie. Yeah, fine. You don't want to focus. And he's got a ridgy kind of Shin Godzilla detail that you see in the movie Shin Godzilla. Yeah, sorry you got to deal with this. I don't know how to fix it. For articulation, there we go. His neck moves side to side. You can spin pretty much every joint I've ever made at you can spin it 360. It just wears down really fast, so I don't like doing that. His hips move. So it is the only figure I have where their legs move, so you can put them in a kind of a running stance. And his tail moves. So, yeah, pretty cool. And I just wish he was bigger. And I could reprint him, but he'd be in white plastic, and it's harder to see details, yada yada. I'm happy enough with how it came out. But if I really wanted to, I'll just size him up for, a future print. All right. Next, I gotta put on the tripod on my camera now. The last figure is kind of a treat, and I'm excited for you guys to see it. All right, so the final figure for this smaller showcase, for this lovely event, is my Godzilla 1962 figure. I love the 62 suit. It's my second favorite suit after 2003. And I had to make it. I did this a while back, I think maybe August. If you follow my Instagram, you would have seen him. And you would have seen his smaller counterparts that were test models. I didn't think it was necessary to pull them out, so they're not here with us today. Without further ado, let's dive into probably my favorite figure I've ever made. And that's saying a lot, because I have a lot of figures. Most of them I forget even exist. I've done so many. And not just Godzilla, like miniatures and stuff, everything. I used pictures from the movie along with promo shots of the Monster Arts figure, since I felt that that figure was very accurate in its sculpt, from what I could tell. He's in the 6-inch scale, very big figure. He has 4, 2, 3, 4 points of articulation, but he comes in a lot of pieces. So if I ever got around to selling stuff, I don't know if I'll do that, but he will come in a ton of pieces. And I don't want, really quickly, you guys are so nice when you ask to buy things. It puts a smile on my face, not because I care about selling them, but it just means a lot that you guys like what you see. And it makes me want to better myself as a sculptor every time you're like, oh my god, I want the Rodan. Oh my god, can I have that variant? It means a lot, and I just wanted to tell you guys that. Because it makes me feel that, I'm putting my time to good use with these figures. And whether I end up selling them or not, it means a lot that you guys give feedback. And I've gotten some criticisms too. And I'm very happy with that. It allows me to better myself as a sculptor. So, with that little sentimental garbage out of the way, 4 points of articulation. His arms are on angles. They cannot move 360. They will hit the legs. And that is not very cash money. You do not want to scrape it. But you can't even scrape it. I mean, it hits the legs and it cannot go past. So he's got that going for him. For size comparison, I have the NECA 62. The NECA's a little larger, I think. Yeah, it's larger. But now, I am not trying to say anything about, which one's better. It's obvious which one's better, and it's this figure. Completely. In every single way, shape, and form. All I'm saying is, looking at movie stills, the largest spike on the 62 design goes out like this. And I know that because I took a shot, I think it was the Monster Arts figure. But that Monster Arts figure, and I can tell, lining up with X Plus and the movie shots, the spike pattern on this figure is accurate, to the best of my ability, in terms of the size ratio between the spikes. For whatever reason, the largest spike on the NECA does not protrude, and this one sort of goes out farther. I don't know why, but I wanted to sort of highlight that detail that while this figure is absolutely fantastic, I watched Diego Doom. He's amazing. All you guys are amazing. Everyone in this community is amazing. Especially Steven and the gang for putting this event together. I think the size ratio is a little more accurate, just in terms of proportions. Other than that, the muzzle on mine is too small. The neck looks weird from the front, and yeah. And I am totally willing to admit that. So, there's a size comparison. Rest in peace, NECA. Godzilla line. I really wish you could have made every suit. I would have bought every single one of them. Another size comparison is the Kong that I reviewed a while back. They are as close as I could get them. They make a pretty good set. And that's about it. So this video is not nearly as long as my last showcase, but I'm really happy that I can share this with you all. I'm not very active on YouTube. I try, but school gets in the way. But I am active on my Instagram, and I will link that in the description. I post a bunch. Every few days or so, I post something regarding the sculpts. Yeah. So I advise you to check that out. My YouTube isn't really my main avenue for showing off my art. But it's nice to have events like this where I can, gather up a bunch of stuff together and just show you guys. I'm not really good at this. I'm not very professional when I showcase, but I try. So I wish you all a safe and happy Halloween and Terror of Cyber Kaiju event. And the rest of the year for that matter. I wish you all the best quality of life that can possibly be given to each and every one of you. And it means so much that you're willing to stop by and watch this channel. So, I'll see you in the next one.